The whole village stood still when Princess Duke knelt before the poor hunter and asked to be his wife. No one spoke. Not the king, not the elders, not even the wind. I remember because I was there. I was just a boy then, maybe 10 or 11, but I still remember every sound or lack of it that morning. It started months before that strange day. The hunter's name was Duro. He lived at the edge of our village near the thick forest of Aparo. His hut had holes in the roof. His only friend was his dog, a brown old creature named Sade. Most people didn't talk to Duro, not because he was wicked, but because he was poor. In our village, being poor was almost like having a disease. People feared it might touch them too. But Duro was strong. He hunted with skill and always respected the land. He never took more than he needed. Some days he gave meat to old women who could not cook for themselves. I remember one day when he gave a big antelope to a woman who had just lost her husband. He said, "Let her eat and rest." Still, nobody cared. They said, "Good heart does not fill a stomach." Now the king had a daughter, a duke. She was the kind of girl people talked about in secret. Not because she was the most beautiful, though she was, if we are being honest, but because she asked too many questions. She didn't like to sit in the palace. She would go into the market and talk to anyone. I once saw her helping a goat give birth in the rain. That kind of girl. One day she went into the forest. Nobody knew why. Maybe she was bored. Maybe she just wanted to walk. But something went wrong. They said she slipped and hit her head. She was alone. It was Duro who found her. He had been following animal tracks when he saw her lying still under a tree. He carried her all the way back to the village on his back. Blood on his shirt, sweat on his face. That was the first time many people really looked at him. They cleaned her up. The king's medicine men worked on her. She stayed quiet for 3 days. Then she woke up. After that, everything changed. Princess Duke started asking for Duro. She said he had saved her life. She asked him to teach her how to track animals. He said no at first, but she kept coming back. One day she followed him into the forest without his permission. I saw them. She was laughing, barefoot, chasing a squirrel. The village started talking. At first it was jokes, then whispers, then real anger. Can a hunter enter the palace? Will a princess cook with firewood? Even the king got worried. He called a meeting. I was too young to sit with the elders, but I listened from outside the palace wall. She is a child, one elder said. She will forget. But she didn't forget. A week later during the village festival in front of the whole crowd, the duke got up and walked straight to Duro. She knelt and said, "I want to be his wife."
Silence. Some laughed, some shouted, some spat. The king's face turned like dark stone. He looked at her, then looked at Duro. He didn't speak. Aduke stood and said, "You told me to choose a man of courage. I have chosen." That night the king called Duro into the palace. We never knew what was said in that room, but by morning, Duro's hut was empty. Many believed the king had sent him away. But 1 month later, the drums beat again, this time for a wedding. Duro came back wearing clean clothes. Aduke wore beads and white cloth. They stood hand in hand. The king did not smile, but he gave his blessing. Some people say love is blind. I don't think that's true. I think love sees what the world refuses to look at. That was 20 years ago. Today, Duro is still married to Aduke. They still live in the same house near the forest, though the roof no longer leaks. They have 2 children. One of them is learning to hunt. The other loves to ask questions, just like her mother. And every time I pass their house, I remember the day everything stopped, when a poor hunter made the whole village go silent.